So moving on to the next story, which is South Africa's crypto asset provider licenses. So, Bolu, give us the lowdown on that.
All right, yes. So it's just like what you said. South Africa has granted licenses to crypto service providers or crypto companies, whatever you want to call them. Nigeria calls them virtual asset service providers.
Yeah.
So in South Africa, these companies have been 75 of them have been granted crypto licenses, right? Which is interesting because if you look at the crypto regulatory landscape, there are a lot of things. There's always been issues with governments and crypto companies, government and cryptocurrencies itself. So I think what makes this story interesting is because of that history that we know that governments have had with anything called crypto. So it's kind of like a step in the right direction. It's kind of like as if there seems like there's some regulatory oversight, proper regulatory oversight coming to crypto finally, right? And it's not just South Africa. Kenya is also making some progress. In Nigeria, it seems like we're making progress, but I don't know what your next question is, but I don't want to preempt.
Okay, so I don't know. What kind of value can this unlock for South Africa?
Okay, so like I said, the first thing is now there will be proper regulatory oversight, right? Because if you give someone license, it's expected that there are things they are supposed to do, there are ways they are supposed to operate, there are reports they are supposed to give, right? They cannot do like Patricia and do whatever they want, shut down or so. We will have proper, like you are holding, you have licenses, right? There are things you are doing. You are holding people's money, or you are helping them trade. You are helping them do this. So now, I think there will be more trust within the crypto ecosystem. Users can trust better. Also, I think there's revenue generation for the government, right? Because now that you have oversight over them, you can tax them properly. You know how much they're making. You know how they're operating. Then you can make some money from them, right? So I think those are some of the values that South Africa can capture from this. And it also helps when new crypto innovations come
up.
Yeah. So you now know, because you already have like a
regulatory framework.
So now you can if new things come up, whether it's NFT, whether it's this, whether it's that, you now know, okay, for this, so this is how you should do it. If you are going to offer these services, this is how you should go about it. So I think those are some values that they can unlock from it.
All right. So Rosemond, earlier we were talking about recognition versus acceptance. Let's talk about that. Does the fact that there's now a regulatory oversight for crypto startups in South Africa, does it automatically translate to acceptance by the government?
Honestly, the very big answer is a no. It does not.
Okay.
What has happened is there's been a meet in the middle situation here. The government definitely, as many governments have realized that this is something that has come to stay, really. The best you can do is to ensure that you don't just keep cancelling and cancelling. You know, the Nigerian situation where we just got a regulation, what they noticed that banks should clamp down. You know, thankfully that has been overrun now by the new
what's happening now is even
But
worse.
the challenge that I see is that, yes, you have these regulations, which is good. But the truth is that it doesn't translate to, because even the Financial Services Control Authority in South Africa did make a public announcement to the fact that as much as it is a regulation, it does not officially recognize cryptocurrency as a legal tender.
Exactly.
And even the South African Reserve Bank also, they actually did also make a statement that it doesn't recognize as an official legal tender. So there have been arguments that the regulation itself justifies it to be used as tender. There's the announcement, but as long as the government has said, we don't see this thing as more, you can't come and pay your NEPA dues. I don't know if they call it NEPA there with crypto. Or you cannot pay your taxes in crypto and things like that. You know, it is what it is. But the good thing I will just finalize here is that at least they've recognized the fact that there are virtual asset service providers, the ones that act as exchange platforms, the ones that can advise, that can offer advisory, and of course, I think there are about 2 categories of licenses, license 1 and 2. One is just advisory and management. The other one is advisory management and investor. What's the word? Investor acceleration. Basically, you can invest in all those things. So I think it's good. It's a good step in the right direction. Whether it's going to be recognized as legal
Legal
tender
tender.
is something that I cannot say at this moment.
Okay, so that was a very short one, but I mean, there isn't so much to say for crypto.
There's one more thing to say actually. So the thing is, South Africa is making progress when it comes to actually bringing these people together and say, okay, take your license, right? Like we said, better regulatory oversight, right? Doesn't mean acceptance, but means okay, we see you, right? We see you. Let's work together, right? But then I think one very key thing about this is South Africa is one of the major countries when it comes to like crypto acceptance, but then I think Nigeria is like in Africa. I think Nigeria is like one of the leading countries when it comes to crypto acceptance and adoption. And it's funny that while South Africa is making progress in this space, right, Nigeria doesn't seem to. In 2022, we had our own guidelines that okay, these are the guidelines to getting your own licenses, right? But till today, I don't know any company that has been confirmed, any crypto company that has been confirmed to have a license in Nigeria. And one of the reasons, I've seen a lot of people mention is the amount it takes, to get a license. In Nigeria, the registration fee alone is $93,000.
Okay,
right?
that's
Paid
good.
up capital of about 1 billion naira. But then I'm not sure what the figures are exactly in South Africa, but one of the articles I saw showed that it ranges from about $300 to at most $3,000, right?
Okay.
To pay for those registrations. So I think maybe our own regulators should probably take a cue from because you need oversight on these people. You need to be able to control them, right? Even if you will not accept them, because these people are holding citizens' money. People are investing a lot in these things. So maybe they should take some cue, maybe bring their money down a little, because again, you chase a lot of players out. You chase them
Maybe
away.
that's the plan.
I mean,
Maybe that's
to be fair, that's
true.
actually what I think. I mean, if I don't want you to come to my house, all I need to do is give you vague address and you keep on roaming around the street. So I believe...
Or I raise a high fence, or
Yeah.
I don't knock when you enter. Or I don't
Exactly.
enter, sorry.
So I just believe that putting that is... There's a reason for that. It's to ensure that the barrier to entry is very high. Because I don't know how
But
many...
people will enter anyway.
Yes, people
That's
would
the thing with
enter
crypto.
anyway.
From a legal
but-
perspective, right, the barrier to entry is really high, I can tell you, because when I was looking through the proposed amendment, speaking to Nigeria now,
Yeah.
right, even though you are going to have capital market operators, if you are going to have a VSP service of some sort, right, you have to re-register it as a subsidiary. You can't collapse your traditional financial services with your crypto services at the same time. That's one of the changes that were made.
Okay.
The second thing also was the increase, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, like there was a serious increase,
one.
right? And I think
400%.
400% increase, and I think it's something that is being done intentionally. I wouldn't say with bad mind, but it is that anybody that's going to play in this space is going to be serious enough to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
And it's actually paid capital. So the money must be in the bank or it must be in assets. Do you understand? It's not in the air. Just put it on the document. So it's a lot. But yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah,
It
okay.
is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, yeah. To listen to the full episode of this podcast, visit podcast.techpoint.africa or search for Techpoint Africa Podcast on your favorite podcast platforms.